Hey, what's everyone? So today I'm just going to be taking a look at the Transformers Netflix Wave 2 Bumblebee. So this is a figure that I've just been almost, I would say, dreaming of for so long. As you know, if you have been, aware of all the Transformer news and stuff, this figure is extremely hard to come by. It's almost impossible to actually get it at Walmart, considering this is a Walmart exclusive. That's kind of ridiculous. I got this on eBay for pretty overpriced. I'm just gonna come out and say it, but honestly, I think it is 100% worth it. So let's just get right into it. Let's take a look at the packaging. So I'm just gonna move Bumblebee off to the side. I did mess around with the lighting a little bit because Bumblebee is a very bright figure, and I really wanted to show all the details I can and not just have him, a big, ball of light. So here is the packaging. It says Bumblebee, Autobot Bumblebee, of course, Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy, Netflix, and on the side we have a nice artwork of Bumblebee there, an Autobot symbol, which does look quite nice, and on the back, transforms into 20 steps, and that's pretty much it for the packaging. So let's take a look at the vehicle mode, and I will have a comparison for the vehicle mode. And I will have several comparisons for the robot mode. Of course, all of the previous mold mates, Bugbite, Cliffjumper, the other Bumblebee, and of course, Hubcap. And what is so exciting about this is that this was the last one I needed. The final of the molds, of course, that we know so far. There could be more in the future, but as of what we know right now, the last one is Goldbug, which I do have pre-ordered on Hasbro Pulse, Shatterglass Goldbug, and I'm so looking forward to him. That looks so cool to see them all together. So let's get right into it. So first off, I'm starting off him in the little weapon upped mode. So let's take a look at the details. So he does have his little boosters on and his little ski pieces and this little piece under there, if you were wondering what those are. These do form the grenade, the big missile launcher / the pistols, which we will show later, of course. But very nice detailing. So really nice gunmetal gray on these rocket booster bits. They are a little loose. If you are wondering why I'm not touching them, they're very loose and they can just pop off very easily. But of course, you just tab them back on. Very nice blue for the windows, which are all around on the back and sides, and on the front, of course. Nice windshield wipers there, which do look pretty good. Nice Autobot symbol there, and I'm pretty sure that is the Volkswagen symbol, if I'm correct, which does look pretty good. Some headlights, of course. Nice rim for the front and on the back, too, and there is some lights there. And also, you can see that little area there where you could probably see a license plate right there, which does look quite nice. This is the bottom. This is the top, and right now, of course, doesn't roll perfectly because there's these little ski pieces, but I will show you how it rolls without all those pieces on. So let's get into a comparison. So here I have Netflix Bumblebee with Masterpiece Bumblebee, which I actually did a small little reference to in a stop motion of this figure recently. So if you haven't seen them, I actually did 2 stop motions of this, but one of them did feature this Masterpiece Bumblebee. So if you want to see that, go check those out. So, very cool. So as you can see, they are quite similar, of course. The only difference is really these added-on pieces, which I can bring him out later when these pieces are off, just so you can get the full comparison without these added-on pieces. But, they look pretty similar overall. They do have the Autobot symbol really in the same place, as you can see. Let's go to the front. We have an Autobot symbol there and there. There's just more smaller details, like there's little lights here. There is some here, but they are not as detailed. This has a longer front part of the car than this one. Of course, it is bigger because there's more engineering. It's more expensive. That makes complete sense. Also, this does have the little extra spare wheel on the back, which you can store on the bottom, but I typically like to put it back there. But very cool. So let's move them off to the side just for now. We'll bring them out in just a second for another comparison in the vehicle mode. So now you can do several options with these weapons. So I'm going to take them off so I can show you the clean Volkswagen Bug. So let's just take them off. So these are just tabbed on the bottom. An interesting feature, if you want to know this, if you don't want these facing back like boosters, you can rotate them around and have them facing forward to be like guns, if you wanted to. I can show you what that looks like if you want to see that. So you will just have to switch them around because there is only one slot on each side, so you do have to flip them. But if you want to do something like that, you can, to have them shooting forward. But just an option. Which options are good. So let's just take these off, and take this little bottom section off, like that. And this, if you're wondering how this tabs in, there is 2 pegs there, which will go into the hands, and there's a peg there that goes into that port right there. And let's just move these pieces off to the side for now. Here is the clean Volkswagen bug look, and here is, of course, Masterpiece Bumblebee, and I think that does look pretty darn good. As you can see, very, very similar. Honestly, if I just took off this wheel, would you be able to tell a difference? I think the only thing that gives it away is really the size and the color. But, very, very cool. So, nice comparison. So let's get into some more of the features of all those accessories that I took off. But, rolling-wise, it does roll pretty good. A lot better, of course, without those weapons on. It is a little kind of buffered and stopped because this is a cloth, so if you had a flatter surface, it would definitely roll a lot better. But for, a cloth surface, it rolls pretty good. So now, some options. What you can do is, of course, you can put them on how I showed before, but there is another option. So you're going to get this little shield section, and you can either take it off for this, or you can leave it on. I'm going to leave it on. You can just bring these sections up, and you're going to want to, these are the arms, you want to hinge it at the elbow joint, which is this joint right there. So you're going to bring this up and down, so just like that. As you can see, there is using the elbow joint there, which is hinged like that, and that's exactly how you want to have it. There is this peg right there, and you're going to want to bring that down and just sit flush with the arms. But just like that, so there you go. So there's that. Now let's get these pieces. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to close up this section like that. You can get these 2 sections here and peg those together. This figure is overall an amazing figure. I just want to point out there is really only one minor critique for this, is that these do not peg together very well. I don't think they're too loose to where it will fall off or anything, or if they'll disconnect, but it is, as you can see, pretty darn loose. And now what you can do is just peg that in, just like that, and then you can get these clips, and you want to have this little section there, that little ridge section there facing forward. You can have it face the other way, but I'm just showing you how the instructions show it. And now you can do the other side, just peg that into place, and there is the combined full rocket launcher / missile launcher, whatever you want to call it, which does look pretty good. So what you can do is you can peg, there is this little groove section there, and there's, of course, that peg that I took out earlier, and that will just slide into place to form this sort of kind of spy car sort of thing. So, more in depth into this. So, with the previous 4 renditions of this mold, all of them, Bug Bites, the other Bumblebee, Cliff Jumper, and Hubcap, there was a peg on this little shield piece, but since there is no peg to plug the missile launcher into, they had to come up with a new way. If you're confused on what I'm talking about, take Hubcap here. There is a little port there, and you could go, of course, get the missile launcher and plug it right into there. So that is why they came up with this new little mode. And I'm actually really glad they don't have a big port on the back of the shield, or on the front of the shield, of course, or the back of the car. So the reason why, really, it was probably just to have a more clean Volkswagen Bug look, which I'm very glad they did that. But, so of course, you can attach plastic pieces to the end of this, so it can be firing, which does look pretty cool. Very nice for display. So that's really it for features and, different really modes for the vehicle mode. So let's get into transformation. So what you're going to want to do is just take this out, move that off to the side so it is out of the way, like that. So now you can get the shield, and that will just wiggle out of the hands, just like that. And you can put the shield off to the side, and now what we're going to do is just go here, move these wheels up like that, there you go, and then you can disconnect them at the feet, which there is this tab there which can be a little tight, so just kind of loosen that up, And there is this other tab here, which you can loosen up. So there is a tab on the inside of that piece, and there's a slot on the leg. So that will just loosen up. You can do the same thing for the other one, just like that. And there you go. And now let's start kind of putting stuff together. So we're going to bring down this whole section to form the foot. And then you can go back here. There is a tab and a slot in the wheel. So you're going to want to align that up nice and good to form the full foot. Do the same thing on the other side. Just align that up perfectly. Like that. So there we go. Now the legs and feet are all done. So now what you're going to want to do is just kind of bring these out to really a neutral position, bring this whole entire section up, and then what you're going to want to do is rotate at the waist. So this is all facing the proper position, and then you can disconnect this section here, which I do want to bring in, I wouldn't say as a complaint, but more like a warning and concern. So these two sections here, as you can see, they are kind of thin, and they do really tab into place very tight. As you can see, I had to grab this whole black section there to untab it. It is nice and secure, which is good, but it is a concern that these could break. I've transformed it about, I would say, 5 to 10 times, 5 at the least, and there has been no chipping or breaking or anything, but I would just like to let you know it could happen if you use too much force. So now what you're going to want to do is bring down this little panel, and then you can bring up these panels here. Just kind of bring the hands out to more of a relaxed position, and then you can get this whole section in and tab that into place. Just like that. And those little sections I was talking about earlier will just fit right into that little groove there. Right into place. And here is Bumblebee. So of course this is him without his shield and weapons, which we will add to him in just a second. But again, oh my gosh. I am so just speechless that I have this figure. It's been so long. This figure has been out for, I think, almost 2 years. I think a year and a half, I'm pretty sure. And I've, wanted it for so long. It's honestly just unbelievable. I actually have it. To you, you might be like, why does it matter? It's just a repaint. To me, it's so cool when you can complete a collection. Like, I had so much fun getting the Sparkless Seeker recently so I could complete the Seeker collection, because I had already pre-ordered Sparkless Shatterglass Starscream, and that's all I needed. So it's pretty much the same with this. All I needed was Bumblebee. I pre-ordered Goldbug, and all I needed was him, and I finally completed the collection, which is so fun in my opinion, and so awesome. So here is Bumblebee, and I think he looks so cool. We will have a lot of comparisons in just a second. Let's take a look at the details. So we have some black for the shoulders and hands, some orange for, of course, the other arm parts in the middle. Also some more black for the elbow joints, and some silver for the face, some blue for the eyes, if you can see that. Hopefully it doesn't get too shiny. The lighting, might just completely bounce off the silver and just make it impossible to see. But he does have some blue for the eyes, kind of almost green, I would say. Some more of that blue that we saw from earlier from the car mode, which does look pretty nice. Still the windshield wipers you can see on the chest, which does look pretty cool. Some black for most and the majority of the legs. We do have some car detailing there, the rims, the headlights, and that nice Autobot symbol right there. And some silver for the headlights. And a little bit of orange and detailing for the crotch. On the back, pretty clean, but of course, if you want to spruce it up a little bit, you can add that little shield/backpack piece, which we will show in just a second. But that's pretty much it for details. So let's do articulation before we add everything, just so it's a little bit easier to show all the stuff off without all those pieces in the way. So for the head, it can rotate all the way around. It can look slightly up. It can really just have a neutral position, really can't look down at all. The arms, they can go that far up, that far down. They can rotate all the way around. There is a swivel. There is an elbow bend back and forward. There is a swivel at the hand. Same for, of course, the other arm. There is a rotation at the waist. You can actually move this section back, so if you kind of want a back crunch, you can. If he's bending backwards, you can do it. Options are good. You can kick the leg back, and there is also another hinge here, so pretty good degree of articulation. It can kick forward, pretty good. And also there is a nice, very nice ankle pivot, which is pretty good. So there you go. So that's pretty much it for articulation. So let's show off all the accessories and all their features and places to place on the figure. So there is two places you can store this little piece. You can have him holding it, which we will show first. So you just get that little peg, plug it into his hand, and there is his shield, which I think looks pretty darn awesome. I'm not really sure how I will have him with his accessories positioned, of course, because you can break this missile launcher, of course, into those individual guns and little pieces to put on him. For the other ones, I have Cliff Jumper with his missile launcher, also Hubcap with his missile launcher, and Bug Bite and the other Bumblebee have their individual little pistols and extra pieces spread out. So I'm not really sure with them. None of them are wielding their shield. I typically put it on their back. It gives them a little more chunk to them, a little more blocky look. I love blocky Transformers. It looks really good. It gives them more depth, I would say. So most likely I will have the shield on his back. But again, your toy, you can do whatever you wish. But that does look very, very cool. Of course, you can have him also wielding the huge missile launcher, which does look pretty cool, in his hand with the shield. He is ready for battle, definitely. I will have a comparison with those other four in just a second. So that's one way you can do it. So you can also, of course, get this little shield here, and you can get that peg out, and there is that port there, and just kind of slowly plug that into place, and there is the more clean look. And again, I told you from earlier, loose connection between those guns, but that's okay. Just peg it back into place. But pretty nice, clean looking backpack. And very, very cool. So, of course, you can just have him holding the missile launcher alone, or you can do those individual pieces and guns. So now what you can do is just take this little black piece out, and you're going to want to have that little groove section again facing forward. So we can get this other gun, get this little clip, and that will just peg into place just like that. So he can have his pistols like that. And of course, you can do all this exact same storage for the other four of this mold. There is one thing different, which is kind of interesting. So, as I said before, on the shield piece, there is no port to get this piece. And if you're confused on what I'm saying, we'll bring out the previous Bumblebee that I reviewed recently from the Worlds Collide pack for an example. So, as you can see for his shield, you're able to get this piece and put it on his back. Well, there is no port to get this peg and plug it into. Well, you're wondering, where do you store it now? Well, what you do is, let's just move the other Bumblebee off to the side. You can fold this section up, and there is a slot on this shoulder there, and on the other one. And you can get this tab right there, and you can just tab that into place. I actually, being honest right now, I did not even think about this when I bought it. I was mostly really thinking about the Volkswagen Bug. I was thinking, okay, all the typical features from the other four, you know, you have the missile launcher, it can turn into pistols and stuff, all the same stuff and more, you know, and I was not thinking, is this back piece different? And it is, so that is actually quite interesting. I was not expecting that much of a mold change for this figure. There's the shield piece, there's the feet, and a lot, of course, small cosmetic details like the paint and some small, you know, headlights and the windshield wipers and all that stuff. But that's pretty much it for accessories and articulation and everything. Of course, just a little recap, you can do the pistols, or you can do the missile launcher. You can use that back piece as, of course, a back piece, or the shield. So that's pretty much it. So of course we got to get some comparisons for this guy. We have so many to show you, so let's get right into it. So I'm just gonna state him out a little bit. I might have to zoom out. Apologies if I do. I think I'm probably good. But here he is with Hubcap, which is a Selects figure. Here he is with a previous Bumblebee, which I did show just recently. I reviewed that pretty recently. It was from a Worlds Collide Target exclusive pack. And here he is with Earthrise Cliffjumper, and here he is with Selects Bugbite. So there they are, and I think that just looks so awesome together. He's a little more of a dynamic pose. These are more of a neutral position, but I'll probably on display, I'll have them more in battle-ready position, but for this review, just kind of want to have them a little bit plain. But there they are. Apologies, I can see on my camera screen that Hubcap does look extremely crazy because he's a very bright figure, but the rest of them look pretty good. So comment in the comment section below, which one's your favorite of these 5? Let's just go over them. So, if you're wondering how I got these, I'll just let you know. So this is a Selects figure, so a little bit of more rare than a mainline. The same goes for Hubcap, a Selects figure. Netflix Bumblebee, if you have the figure, or if you want the figure, I think you know how impossible it is to get him. He was a Walmart exclusive, but just good luck actually getting him at Walmart, because I had to get him on eBay for extremely overpriced. Worlds Collide Target exclusive Buzzworthy Bumblebee, and here he is. So he was actually pretty easy. You know, just look at your targets. If your targets aren't, you know, that well stocked, like, for mine, I have like 3 or 4 in my area. The closest one did not have it. I just looked at a little further away one, and there was several there, so it wasn't that hard for me. Really just depends on your area. Also, Earthrise Cliffjumper, and of course he's a mainline, so pretty easy to get. I think I found him at Target, so you know, that figure was about a year ago, so most likely if you want it, best bet is probably Amazon. So here they are, and I think it just looks so cool, amazing. Really the only changes are the head sculpt, the paint apps, and some small changes, of course, with the mold of the feet. As you can see there, the headlights are more shown in Netflix Bumblebee, and that's pretty much it. The most similar ones are Bugbite, Netflix Bumblebee, and Target exclusive Bumblebee. And these other two they're pretty similar, really just the head. And all 4 of these turn into the same mode, except, of course, Netflix Bumblebee in the middle. He transforms into a Volkswagen Bug, which I showed earlier. And I think that's it. Final thoughts. An amazing figure. I just cannot believe I actually have it. I'm so glad to have it. It's amazing. If you want to have a full comparison of all 5 of these, I will do a comparison in the Goldbug review, so whenever I get that. Right now, its official release date is December, but of course, that could change. Most likely, I'm thinking it'll probably be earlier than it says. So I will, in that review, do a full 6 mold comparison in their vehicle modes. That will look so cool. I'll have to transform all of them. That will be kind of a pain, but in the end result, it'll look really cool. So do stay tuned for that, but right now, that just looks amazing. Tell me what you think. Which one is your favorite out of all these? You can include Goldbug if you want. Of course, no one has it yet, but if you would like to include that one. But of these, my favorite one is Bugbite. It's an amazing figure. Love the symbol on his chest. Then probably the next one is Netflix Bumblebee. But the other 3, they look really cool. And I think that's it. So I'll see you next time.